4 years of Welkin. Man, it has been a long run. Ever since the beginning of Genshin Impact, I have kept the monthly subscription of Welkin. That means that I have had Welkin for 45 months and I've spent roughly $225 on just Welkin. I stopped getting the Battle Pass before Arlecchino's banner as well, and with playing Genshin every day, I have so many resources that I could literally raise about 15 characters, and I could stop playing for about 10 years, and I could still come back and be completely set. Now, the real question is, why now? Well, I'm Void Enigma, and I'll be explaining why I'm becoming a free-to-play, by the way. Wait, is that how you say the term? Oh well, let's go along with it. So the day I became a free-to-play, by the way, was when my Welkin ran out this morning. I reached for my wallet, and no, I am not lying. My credit card information isn't totally safe to my phone or PC, and I'm not making this analogy for the purpose of making this narrative more interesting. And I reached within this billfold, and written inside the wallet was a couple of words: regret nothing. So then, another thought creeped into my mind. What if I didn't spend money on the game? What if I became that internet term that I've heard for the past 4 years that I never quite understood? What if I became a free-to-play, by the way? That is the question that we will surely be diving into right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Welkin is worth it, and it's the one and only thing that you should even consider buying in Genshin Impact. But after buying it every month for years, my roster of characters is pretty much established. There is no character that I want anymore, and if I save everything from now, I can definitely get the Pyro Archon. I last pulled for Chlorand, and I didn't even really need her, to be honest. I have Sino, Raiden, and Kuching, and they're all capable of clearing the abyss with each. I play Genshin for the combat, not to collect waifus, so even if a brand new support came out, then would I really need them? The crazy thing is, after you have so many established characters, there's just not really a need to buff those characters even more. That's the main reason why I skipped Cloud Retainer, because my Shouts team is already busted enough with C6 Barzon. Sure, I can see my plunge go from hitting 120k to 200k, but is that really worth $200? To make matters even worse is that newer characters have essential elements locked behind a massive paywall, C1 or C2. Every character that comes out nowadays has a completely different level of power at C2, which is completely fine, but locking behind things like interruption resistance for a constellation is just bad practice. Of all the main carries that have been released recently, we have Lyney, Wriothesley, Neuvillette, Navia, Arlecchino, and Chlorand. Guess how many of them have great quality of life within the first two constellations? Lyney is a bow character, so I guess he doesn't really get interruption resistance, and Wriothesley gets a massive dose of enhanced healing with his C1, and Navia on the other hand gets a whole bunch of crystallized shields, so she doesn't really struggle with interruption resistance. However, Neuvillette, Arlecchino, and Chlorand all have interruption resistant constellations from their C1 or C2. The difference with and without interruption resistance is very noticeable, and while you don't necessarily need it, it wouldn't hurt to add to the base kit. It all boils down to this: playing with interruption resistance is smooth gameplay. Playing without interruption resistance is frustrating. What happened to the good old days when constellations just weren't really enticing for actual gameplay? We have characters like Hu Tao, Raiden, and Eula who have built-in interruption resistance. Raiden and Eula literally can't be interrupted during their burst. The constellations have been getting more and more out of hand as time progresses, and power creep begins to be a real big concept, especially for constellations. It begs the question if one day, a 5-star character will be completely unfunctional without at least their C1 or C2. This is a concept that completely evades those species that are called free-to-play, by the way, and I was beginning to think that I should convert my human flesh into one. Now let's take a step back and examine my Genshin spending since 4.0. I did not pull in Fontaine until Farina in version 4.2, and there I got C2 without spending any additional money. I used roughly 387 wishes. Oh my god, that hurt my soul. Failing both 50/50s. Next was my baby Arlecchino. A friend of mine always told me that you always get the characters who you simp for, and so far she's been right, because with Dia, I had similar luck. I saved a ton for her and pulled for her in 4.6, and I won every 50-50 and got C2. Along with that, I got her weapon after failing twice on the weapon banner, and I used about 393 wishes. Now in this update, I pulled for Courier, lost a 50-50 to Dia, and used about 154 wishes. In total, I have used 934 wishes since Fontaine. Now that's 149,440 Primo Gems. God damn. Of those Primo Gems, how much of it was from Welkin? Now, let's not even count the time in 4.7. That's about 8 months of Welkin, but let's round it up to 9, which is about 27,000 Primo Gems. 27,000 out of 150,000. About 18% of my total Primo Gems came from Welkin. The reason I pulled for constellations and weapons was because I wanted them, not because I needed them. But what am I using that power for? Clearing the Abyss every 2 weeks has become a chore for me, or is it like every month now because look at the Abyss timer. I didn't even find enjoyment from the actual battle events anymore, and Genshin has evolved into a gacha party game instead of an actual action-adventure RPG game. The exploration is still magnificent, I cannot fault it there, but I began to get frustrated because the only time that I feel like I can actually have fun exploring is with this staple team, Yelan, Kazuha, and Sayu. I thought that Arlecchino would be a great addition, but the stamina consumption on her glide is rather annoying. Another chance for Hoyo to do something cool, but they added a stipulation for do not have too much fun. Now, back to the main topic. If I hadn't have had Welkin, then I would have lost literally 1 to 2 5 stars, not even counting failing 50-50. Out of the 8 that I received in total, I would have had between 4 and 6 of the actual characters. So if I hadn't gone for constellations, then I would have had a surplus of Primo Gems right now. Now, let's resume my thought process of how I was reacting to reaching for my credit card. What am I using Welkin for? Those, free to play by the way, type people really must have it nice, right? With Notland, there are sure to be characters that I want, but will I need the extra resources to get constellations for those characters? If I just go for a C0 character, then I'm sure to get them. Even if I don't get it on day 1, I have a whole patch to gain them if I really want to. It's not like there's hard content to even use these characters on. I would just be playing my minigame simulator and clearing the Abyss every month, I guess. If Abyss frustrates me with my new characters, then all I gotta do is bring out Poppy Arlecchino and clear it with her. I have been feeding into the gacha design for so long, and I subconsciously thought that missing Welkin for a month would be the absolute worst mistake that I can make. Little did I know is that just going after every new shiny object is kind of addictive. Like, I don't need these constellations or weapons. I have everything that I already need on my account. So for you new players out there who need to fill out your roster, then yes, Welkin is worth it. But for you veteran players, you should sit back and really question whether Welkin is an investment that you need. Maybe you too can become a free-to-play, by the way. I don't know which characters are coming in Notland, but out of the Fontaine cast, I only pulled 3. With the Primo Gems that I earned from playing the game, not even considering the Primo Gems earned from Welkin, I was able to pull 6 characters within the span of 7 patches. That's 3 guaranteed characters if we lose every 50-50. I know that I will not be spending any extra money on Genshin now that I've officially beaten the game. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I think I can finally transcend my soul into a free-to-play, by the way. Whatever that even means. And at the end of the day, if a new character comes around that I really want, then I guess I gotta swap! Go ahead and check out this video to see why the Wuthering versus Genshin conflict can really help both Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact be better games. Oh, and leave a like so that I can actually afford to feed my dog. She gets really expensive, and this video needs to get a lot of traction so that I can actually, feed her. This has been Void Enigma, and until next time, Enigma out.